moment, but give yourself 5 years and you'll be married to a completely different person and be perfectly happy, like my child.
Right. Right. Miss Heuman was talking earlier about teaching some of those coping skills, about, challenging those thoughts that they're having. And so coping skills is also another thing parents can work with their kids on, on the journaling or
drawing, listening to music. Self-regulation is one of my favorite things to teach children, because they tend to go into that fight or flight response that we all have built into every human brain, and teenagers go there quickly, and we want them to really self-regulate once they've had that, or even before they get there.
Right. I have those skills on hand, and so parents can work with kids on those types of skills by modeling it as well, as some of that self-regulation. How do I deal with emotional issues? How do I deal with difficulties? But we also teach that in the schools as well. And since I'm an SEL counselor, social emotional learning counselor, I have to give a shout out to social emotional learning too as well, which the counselors all teach at their campuses. It teaches those coping skills.
And we now have social emotional learning counselors at all of our schools, so that's a benefit and change that we've adapted to the last couple of years.
And part of the suicide protocol is the safety plan. And in the safety plan, it says what are 3 ways that help you calm down.
Okay.
And that's some of the SEL skills.
Yes.
Yeah, drawing, listening to music, talking to a friend.
Yeah, those are all really good points.
Really good points. And then also the 3 adults. List 3 other people you can go to for support if you're having these thoughts.
Okay.
And that kind of goes into a little bit of what we kind of wanted to discuss, here towards the end, was those strategies that foster for our kids that resilience and that mental well-being, that help strengthen them, so that hopefully maybe when the time comes where those thoughts creep in, they can know what they need to switch to in order to maybe push them to the side and get past those feelings that aren't so good.
That's a tough one too.
And sharing with an adult, but it could be your counselor, it could be your parent, it could be your priest, your pastor, any adult.
And I think it's important for people to know, our listeners that are out there going, well, I don't know how to solve the problem. You don't have to know how to solve the problem, right? Just be the one to listen and to offer hope, like you said, and a resource for help.
Right.
And I get calls from parents, friends, like they've talked to their parents' mother or their friend's mother. And so we get referrals from all kinds of community adults.
And we really want to make sure that parents are aware that, no parent plans for this, right?
Right.
No one plans for their child to have a crisis. And so when it does happen, sometimes parents might feel ashamed or might feel guilty or at fault, but we don't want them to feel that way, because we don't want them to avoid getting the help they need or the support, because there's not judgment there. Different situations come about with teenagers, just like we've talked about. Different children react different ways, and so we just want to make sure that they all feel supported and feel like they have a safe place to seek help.
And people can't help their feelings, and your feelings are valid, whether I have never felt like that before or not. If you're feeling it, then that's the way you're feeling, and we should validate that and get the help we need.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
It could be what's going on with the child. It could be outside influences. You never know what could cause a child or to go into crisis. But that's part of teaching that resiliency, like you asked about. We teach in schools positive mindset, and that's something that and they used to call it grit. So, teaching kids at an early age to really to overcome obstacles, that it's okay to fail, that it's okay to ask for help. Those are all resiliency skills that are really important for them to learn.
Failure's a part of growth. You're not going to get everything the first time. That growth mindset is very important.
Right.
Right.
I've learned more on failing than if I had just, done something right maybe the first time. I didn't have as deep an understanding maybe.
And I try to tell kids, adults are scared too. I was scared to come to a podcast.
I was scared. I was just thinking the same thing.
But y'all have done great. Y'all have done great.
Well, thank
y'all
you.
so much.
I tell you what, we just wanted to give a shout out to our teachers and our
Yes,
counselors and
Right.
everybody that comes in contact with our kids, from the bus driver in the beginning of the day
Definitely.
and the cafeteria work in the beginning of the day. People are paying attention to our kids, and we provide the training, and we're just really hopeful that
It's a very supportive community.
yeah.
And that's our goal.
Yeah.
We want to support all of our kids, and not just our kids, but our teachers. Anybody who may feel like this. We want them to know that there are resources and things you can turn to where we want to help you.
Stress is not just children, it's adults as well, and parents as well.
And society is there are just more factors that make things stressful and weigh on you. Social media as a whole, because people put out their best life on social media. They don't always put out the bumps in the road, and
That's
so
right.
people are trying to compare yourself to someone's
whole
best. and
podcast
you just,
in itself.
It is. You're
It is
right.
very much so. Yeah.
With
Yes.
social media, yes.
Yes. So again, thank you for the work that you do with our kids, and I know that you guys are making a difference every day. I know you deal with this kind of stuff every day, and we really appreciate you.
Well, I want to kind of end on it. If somebody says something about suicide, acknowledge it, care, and tell somebody. Act. See something, say something.
Good points. Thank y'all so much for being here. This is really good information. I'm hoping that a lot of our listeners take the time to listen. I know it's a serious subject, but it is definitely one that we need to just talk about and get out there. So thanks again for coming out today.
All right, thank you for
you.
having us.
Thank you.
I was gonna say good things.
Y'all
You know
did
what I'm
good.
talking about? Good
Thank
things.
you.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Is that the Saturday Night Live?
Good things.
I'm watching it now.
You have
Something else.
Thank you. I did not want to do this by myself.
Yeah.
No, you're
Big
good.
good.
I'm gonna tell you.
Big
You have
good.
to-
Excuse me.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
All right, ladies, y'all are doing
Oh,
good things. Exciting.
Well, probably
Thank
we
you.
just released a podcast today, so I'm thinking maybe
Next
Monday.
next Monday. That's why I was thinking is I'll edit it and we'll release it next Monday.
Okay, cool.
That'll work. I'm gonna make sure
Thank
that this
you for
camera didn't
joining
stop recording this time.
Thank you for
Thank you for
coming
thinking of
because I
me.
did not want to be alone.
No,
You're my
it's-
friend. She's my new
it's
best
good.
friend.